Live from WTVO Rockford and your home team. Eyewitness News at 5 starts now.
Rockford's Mercyhealth gets the green light to eliminate services from its West Side campus. It takes more than one vote to make the move official.
I looked down at that gun and I'm like, oh, hell no, this isn't happening to me.
A Rockford woman speaks out after her home is targeted by young thieves. The warning she has for fellow homeowners.
It was a day at the opera for some area students, sort of. We'll take you to the performance that got the kids involved with the hope of developing a new generation of fans.
Good evening, I'm Mimi Murphy.
And I'm Eric Wilson. One of Rockford's big three healthcare providers will move forward with limiting services on the city's west side.
Today, the Illinois Healthcare Facilities and Services Review Board voted to allow Mercyhealth's Rockton campus to discontinue inpatient care. Amory Wilder listened in on the meeting. Amory, what does this mean going forward?
Well, Mimi and Eric, Javon Bay received the go-ahead to consolidate its services, and let me tell you, the decision did not come easy. Many board members said yes with great reservation. Mercyhealth will close 70 medical surgery beds at Rockton. CEO and president of Mercyhealth, Javon Bay, says they are not stopping services but simply realigning.
We initially planned that patients needing hospital care, but who were unlikely to need advanced complex care could be hospitalized at our Rockton Avenue. But over time, we found ourselves more often than not having to transfer patients from the Rockton site to the Riverside site when the complications occur. And at Riverside is where we have the support service, mix of specialists and equipment to take care of these patients' underlying conditions.
When the idea was proposed last year, there was a push to prevent the hospital from moving its emergency services, opposers saying it would limit the access of certain healthcare needs from the West Side community. Board member Antoinette Hardy-Waller echoed those concerns today.
Transferring a critically ill patient that's in ICU to another critical care unit 20 minutes away would be more critical potentially or more high risk for that particular patient that needs to be transferred, when in fact there could be med-surg capability in a community that may need it that may not be as high acuity level.
Rockford's mayor has been against this move. In a statement, he says, "I'm glad that they were concerned about this closure impacting the most vulnerable in our community. I am too. I will continue to fight for what is right for our residents in our community." A spokesperson with Mercyhealth tells me there are no currently medical surgery patients at that facility. Mimi?
All right, thanks, Amory. An Illinois Veterans Home faces several lawsuits after a COVID-19 outbreak claims the lives of more than 24 residents. The deaths happened at the LaSalle Veterans Home in late 2020. 26 of the 27 veterans listed in the lawsuit died. A state inspector general's report last year found those deaths could have been prevented. The lawsuits allege the veterans home failed in its duty to provide care or follow basic COVID safety protocols.
It's the job of a long-term care facility in these times to ensure that infections like COVID-19 do not get into the nursing home. And once they do get into the nursing home, that reasonable steps are taken to prevent its spread. And if it's spread, reasonable steps need to be taken to respond to those, in this case, veterans who fell ill.
The state of Illinois, the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs, and some staff members are also named in the suit.
A local police department reaches out to the community to show how officers are working to reduce violent crime. Beloit Police are holding a series of meetings. The first will take place Wednesday at Hackett Elementary School. Police administrators will lay out their goals and plans for the department. They'll also introduce new technology and equipment. Chief Andre Sales says it's also a chance for the public to weigh in.
We can't be there 24 hours, 7 days a week, but we want to understand when we can be more present in those neighborhoods. How can we better connect with them? I know we do a great job on our social media platforms, but at the same time that we want to do a better job actually being in person and being more transparent with our community partners.
You can find the full schedule of meetings at mystateline.com.
12 and 13-year-old boys are charged with attempted armed robbery and attempted home invasion. The suspects are accused of pushing their way into a home and trying to rob the woman inside.
It happened Friday afternoon near Churchill Park. Today, the victim speaks out, warning others to be careful. Rachel Perry spent some time with her. Rachel, how's she doing?
Mimi and Eric, she's still pretty shaken up. She thought the two boys were from the neighborhood and trusted them, but says in the future she won't do that again.
It's your biggest nightmare come true, you know?
Susan has lived in her 9th Avenue home for decades. It's a place she's always felt fairly safe until just recently.
I hear the front porch door open, and so I looked out this window to see who was here, because I always do that before I open the door.
At her door, 2 young boys, thinking it's the neighborhood kids who have helped her with simple jobs before. Susan opens the door.
I said, "Can I help?" And as soon as I said that, the little one that was in front stuck a gun right here, and he says, "Yeah, we want your money."
In that moment, Susan tells me her adrenaline took over.
And I'm like, I said, and I went like this, and I threw my arms like that, and I said, "Get the out of here."
She says the 2 boys ran off. She called 911, and just minutes later, down the block near Churchill Park, police arrested the 12 and 13-year-old.
And it was all over, and I processed it. My heart was beating out my chest, because I'm like, what the heck just happened to me?
Now, Susan says the what-ifs are keeping her up at night.
And it's like, I could, even when I knocked this out, I could have been shot right there. Or what if they would have pushed all the way in? What would they have done to me in an enclosed house?
And she's warning others to be careful and cautious.
Be aware, because I thought it was a totally innocent situation. And you can't do that anymore. You can't take people at face value anymore.
Susan is installing a security system, saying she wants to make sure she knows who's at her door. Eric?
Rachel, thanks. Here's a sure sign of spring. State Line Golf Courses announced their opening days. The greens and fairways at Atwood Homestead will be ready for golfers Wednesday. First tee time is 9 a.m. Weather and course conditions could change that. You can make a reservation by calling the Atwood Golf Shop. Silver Ridge Golf Course in Oregon will also reopen tomorrow. Only 9 holes are available. Tee times start at 9 a.m. as well, but will be first come, first served.
Local elementary students get a taste of opera. That was a piece from Opera for the Young's Cinderella. The Madison-based nonprofit performed at Thurgood Marshall Elementary in Rockford. As you heard, the kids took part too. Some 4th graders also had roles in the show after more than 2 weeks of rehearsals. Teachers say it's a great chance for students to experience a music form not many are exposed to.
It is a wonderful way to give them one more opportunity to see the possibilities of how music tells a story and how music has affected people's lives for thousands and thousands of years, to be perfectly honest.
According to Opera for the Young, its performers reach over 75,000 elementary school kids throughout the Midwest every year. On day 20 of Russia's war, the Biden administration sends more aid to Ukraine.
It's also been confirmed President Biden will soon travel overseas to lead discussions with our allies. Washington correspondent Jesse Tenor previews the trip as she keeps you connected to the nation's capital.
Good evening. A senior defense official says Ukraine is putting up a good fight, but Russia continues to target more residential areas, which is why many in Washington say more support is vital from the U.S. and its allies.
Putin's aggression against Ukraine has united people all across America.
President Biden's signature sends nearly $14 billion in additional military, humanitarian, and economic assistance to Ukraine as part of a sweeping bipartisan spending bill
To continue our forceful response to this crisis.
The White House also made it official Tuesday that the president will lead a NATO meeting in Brussels next week. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is there now
to discuss ongoing deterrence and defense efforts in response to Russia's unprovoked and unjustified attack on Ukraine.
Ahead of the trip, the State Department announced additional sanctions on Russian military leaders. Russia retaliated with its own sanctions on top U.S. officials, including President Biden and White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki.
None of us are planning tourist trips to Russia. None of us have bank accounts that we won't be able to access, so we will forge ahead.
Psaki insists, though, one thing the administration is taking seriously is the rising cost of domestic energy. She says oil companies should act.
We know there are 9,000 unused and approved oil leases right now that these oil companies could tap into and do more in.
But GOP leaders like Iowa Senator Joni Ernst argue the White House ultimately still has the wrong priorities.
Let's push this administration to get over their deranged climate policy, and let's unleash American energy.
And Congress is meeting virtually once again with Ukrainian President Zelensky tomorrow. President Biden said that's when he'll also be able to release more information on the latest U.S. efforts to help Ukraine. In Washington, I'm Jesse Tenor.
Now, your First Warn weather forecast from Chief Meteorologist Candace King.
Well, we may have started off with a little cloud cover out there earlier today, but this afternoon has turned out to be an absolutely gorgeous day, just shy of that 60-degree mark. Those numbers now sitting in the 50s, from 58 degrees in Rockford, 57 in Freeport, Dixon, 56 right now in Rochelle, 57 for weather watcher Ben in South Beloit this evening, and also 57 degrees with a dew point temperature of 37 for weather watcher Bob on the southeast end of Rockford. Those numbers are going to stay fairly comfortable, and our skies are going to stay mostly clear here as we go through the night tonight. We'll bring back a little more cloud cover as we head through the afternoon tomorrow, but a southwesterly wind will get those temperatures into the mid and upper 60s for some for tomorrow afternoon. Now, we've actually started in a stretch 10 years ago, 2012, where we had unseasonable warmth, record warmth for a series of days. How many of you guys remember March of 2012? March 14th, we made it up to 79 degrees, and during that time, an 8-9 day stretch, we had numerous record high temperatures, record warm lows. It was an extremely warm start to the spring season, and throughout the next several months to follow, and then getting into the summertime, we actually ended up with a pretty significant drought that year, but numerous record high temperatures and even those warm record lows broken during that time. Well, we won't be that warm in the days to come. Temperatures tomorrow will be a good 20 to 25 degrees above that average. A live look with a Mercyhealth SkyTrack camera now out of the Poplar Grove Airport. Mostly clear skies, and that'll translate throughout much of this evening as our wind turns light tonight from the southeast. Temperatures this morning started off in the low 30s, those numbers in the mid and upper 30s tomorrow. So still a pretty comfortable day for tomorrow afternoon. There's actually a stationary boundary right overhead that pulls back north as a warm front tomorrow. So that's where we get that cloud cover and that warmth for tomorrow afternoon. Just some of those fair weather cumulus clouds, I think, popping up with the heating of the day. And we do add in a little bit more moisture tomorrow, but mid and upper 60s for our Wednesday afternoon. Get out and enjoy. The only downfall is it is going to be a little windy. Southwesterly winds could be gusting 25 to even 35 miles per hour. Now we're going to bring back some of that cloud cover tomorrow night. Cold front comes through early on Thursday. With those clouds on Thursday, could have a couple of light showers as early as Thursday afternoon. And then we actually see a little bit more widespread rainfall come in on Friday. This as an area of low pressure passes just to the south of us. Now, something we'll have to watch with this, we do have high pressure building to the north during the day on Friday. So that'll actually allow kind of this northeasterly wind to feed in and some cooler air to filter in as a result of that. I don't think we have a good opportunity to see some snow showers, but Friday, maybe late afternoon, Friday evening, Friday night, wouldn't be surprised if we do get a couple of snow showers to mix in with some of that rainfall during that time. So we'll have to watch that going into the weekend, and temperatures as a result will dip back down into the 40s. So 38 degrees, that's where we head for the overnight. Lighter winds for us. Wind picks up tomorrow from the south and southwest. High temperatures up near 66 degrees for tomorrow afternoon. We're up to 56 on Thursday. We've got more cloud cover for St. Patrick's Day, 43 on Friday. Little cooler with a cloudy start on Saturday. Sunday looks good, the official start of spring on Sunday. And then I think we'll warm back into the 60s at least early next week. Next chance for rain, even more measurable rainfall coming up, could be next Tuesday and Wednesday.
Now sports with sports director Scott Leber.
The NFL's new year began today, so the Packers were able to make official their signing of Aaron Rodgers. ESPN reports Rodgers' extension calls for him to make $150 million guaranteed over the next 3 years. He'll make almost $42 million this year, most of that in bonus money. That figure will jump to more than $59 million next year and then slip back a bit to $49 million in 2024. After that, the contract has 2 voidable years where Rodgers can opt out. That's not to say Rodgers couldn't demand a trade a year from now. In the eyes of the Packers and their fan base, the money will be worth it if Rodgers can get them another Super Bowl championship. It's not all on him, though, to win a Lombardi trophy. He needs help, obviously. But Rodgers can't afford another dismal performance in the playoffs like he had against the 49ers in January. This big contract and all the drama Rodgers has created over the past year means his critics will be even quicker to jump on him if he doesn't deliver. Green Bay fans might even turn on him a bit. The pressure is on Rodgers now more than ever. Well, for the second time in 2 years, a player from the Fighting Illini basketball team has made first-team All-America. Last year it was Ayo Dosunmu. This year it's big man Kofi Cockburn. No surprise, Coburn's a candidate for National Player of the Year. He's been a double-double machine, averaging 21 points and 10.6 rebounds a game. He's also shooting almost 60% from the field. In his past 2 years, the Illini have reached new heights on the court we haven't seen in years. Head coach Brad Underwood has done a great job. The real test comes the next few years. Can Underwood keep the program at or near the top of the Big Ten without Dosunmu and Cockburn? Can he replace them with more All-American caliber players? That's the challenge. And Underwood can't afford anything less than 2 wins this year in the NCAA tournament, or it's going to feel like he has wasted his 2 All-Americans. The tournament begins tonight, by the way, with the play-in game, so here are my final 4 picks. Gonzaga, Purdue, Arizona, and Auburn, 2 1s, a 2 and a 3 seed. I have Gonzaga meeting Arizona for the championship, 2 West teams, with the Zags finally winning it all.
First Warning Interactive Radar brought to us by Rockford Auto Glass and More. Nice and quiet here for us tonight. We've got that mostly clear sky. Temperature is still pretty comfortable through this evening. Most of us in the mid and upper 50s. Those numbers will drop down to about 38 degrees tonight. Winds will pick up during the day tomorrow. Highs near 66 for our Wednesday afternoon. Gets a little windy during the afternoon too. Winds could gust in at about 25 to 30 miles per hour. We'll add back in some of the cloud cover Wednesday into Thursday. Slight chance for some showers during the afternoon. Better chance for rain comes in Friday. That might mix in with a little snow Friday evening, Friday night. Temperatures will dip for both Friday and Saturday. We'll see the numbers climb back into the upper 50s, near 60 degrees once we head into early next week, and also watching kind of a second rain chance as we do get into next week. So Friday and next Tuesday, Wednesday look to be some decent rain chances coming up in the next week. Temperatures above average, but could settle down a little bit towards the end of the month.
All right, thanks, Candace.
And thank you for spending some of your time with us. Stay safe.